Thank you for having your comp books out. Good job. Got it taken care of? Yes. End of next week. No. Mm-mm. Yes. Of course. Mm-hmm. Yep, just get your planner out.
So can I come in today?
Yeah, that's fine. Just need your planner out. Yeah, that's fine.
I just need to
Dylan's coming in also. Jack, I'm going to have you move back by Chelsea just because we're doing a partnered activity today. Okay? Hunter, are you okay doing the partner work on your own today? Yeah? Okay. Okay, guys, I know it was a long weekend, so just a reminder about cell phones. Please make sure that they are put on Do Not Disturb and either put them in your bag or keep them on your desk face down. Okay? So put them on Do Not Disturb first, okay? And then either put them in your bag, not in your pocket, okay, or face down on your desk. Thank you. I see some of you have your homework out. Leave that out. Okay, we'll get a chance to self-correct at the end of the period. For now, you're working on preparing your KWL chart, and you are listing everything you know about CASTA's level of questioning. Okay? Everything you know. So I have to face it all the time. Oh, almost got me. Jack's here. Micah's absent. Liz. Hello. I'm just going to finish taking attendance. Sounds like someone's very excited about their social studies test. No. Okay. Let me just do a little editing. Maybe I'll see my error.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. Neither did I. Okay, so today I will classify levels of questions while determining how the volumes of cubes, pyramids, cylinders, and cones are related. Okay, we had a question last week about why the formula worked the way it did. So we're going to do a little activity today that's going to help you hopefully cement your understanding of the formula for pyramids and cones. Okay? Also, we're going to look at levels of questioning. How many of you have heard of Costa's level of questioning before? Okay, so a few hands, about 7 or 8 of you. Okay, so what do we know? What do we know about Costa's level of questioning? What do we know? Yes. Yeah, there's 3 levels. Good job. Okay, so just as a reminder, when you're working on a KWL chart, this column we're not going to add to after our initial, we wrote what we knew. Okay? But you are going to continue to add to the middle and the third column throughout today's lesson. So you're either going to add a question in this third column, like what you want to know, or what you've learned. Okay, so if your classmates share something that you didn't know, you're going to record that here. Okay? So there are 3 levels. Okay, what else? Yes?
Are subject-specific questions?
Yeah, we can absolutely apply them to specific subjects. Anyone else? Does that cover it? I didn't see a whole lot in the what do we know column, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is where we're starting, which is fine. So you might be asking yourself, why do we need to know anything about Costa's level of questioning? Well, the most impactful reason for you is that you're going to have an opportunity to write different levels of questions for both your review and your summative assessment. Okay? So you can have a lot of say in what your next summative assessment looks like. Okay? So before we have you write your own questions, it's going to be important for you to know how to identify and classify different levels of questions. So while we're looking at the relationship between cubes and pyramids and cylinders and cones today, we're also going to be looking at and classifying different types of questions. Okay? So I want you to turn and talk to your neighbor about what it is that we're going to do today. Okay? So just turn and have a quick conversation. What are we doing? It found me. Okay. Yes, Sean, question. For the no. Mm-hmm.
But it's used for better understanding.
Okay. Absolutely. It can totally deepen our understanding of content. So used for better understanding. Absolutely. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start our learning of Costa's levels. I have a little handout for you. Okay. And those 3 levels that Nathan mentioned, okay, are on the front of this handout. Okay. And as I hand these out, I just want you to talk to your neighbor about why would we use a house to illustrate the different levels. Okay? So why would we use that metaphor to explain Costa's levels? So what do you guys think? Okay. Yes.
it's hard to go.
Why would we put level 1 on the first level?
Because it's easy.
It's the entry level.
Okay. Do you think you could do level 2 or level 3 without level 1?
Yeah, they need that.
You think so? Okay. All right. So what do you guys think? Trying to get that. Okay, so what are your thoughts? Okay, why are we using this house to illustrate the levels of thinking? Yeah, Jack.
Because when you go to a house, you live in it.
Okay. All right, and thinking's where we live, maybe? Okay, Chelsea? Okay. So hopefully it's something we can all relate to, right? The home. Okay. Why would they put level 1 on the bottom of the house? Why would that be the first floor? Yes. Jordan. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? The building point. What do you mean by that? Okay. So it's the basic understanding. Do you think we need to have that initial understanding before we can start working on more complex level of thinking? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. If we don't have any understanding of what volume is, right, it's going to be hard to really conceive how to compare volume of two shapes. Okay. So some of the videos that I was watching in preparation for preparing this lesson, a lot of them talked about the fact that some questions are more important than others, right? Those level 2 and level 3 questions are more important. But I'm going to tell you that I happen to think that this first level is the most important. You have to have those foundational skills before you can go deeper. Okay? So we are not going to discount level 1 questions because those are very important. Okay, so this model was actually revolves around helping students read critically. So there's some problems with the crossover between literature and math. Okay? I want to see if you can find, right, some terms that are in this house that you maybe have seen in a lower level question in math. Okay? So look it over yourself first. Okay? Highlight some words that you have seen in math problems. Okay? And then think about how you've seen them.
Any words you've seen in math? Or
Yeah, so any ones that you've seen in directions or, basically in the directions of a math problem, and then you can talk about how you've seen them used. So Ali asked a great clarifying question. Are we highlighting all words that we've seen? And the answer to that is yes. And then you can have a discussion about how you've seen them used.
All the ones in the second one we see.
Your question?
Were you letting all the words?
Maybe just the ones you've seen most frequently. Okay.
Oh yeah, we did though. Or did? Oh. It's like all the second level. Read, define, list. I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, I'm going to pull you back together in 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, nice job. So some of the conversation that I'm overhearing, I'm curious to hear if it's happening at all of the table groups. So what sorts of things were you talking about? What did you share? Dominic, what did you share with your group?
We were sharing what the questions that we've seen on math tests.
Okay. So how many of these words have you seen before? Okay. So quite a few. All right. Was there a level that had more words in it than others as you were looking? Okay. Sean, what do you think?
The third one was forecast.
Okay. You've seen that a lot, have you? All right. Okay. Other groups? Liz, what did your group talk about? What did you notice?
We noticed that level 2 had a lot of more words.
Yeah, did anybody else find that to be true, that level 2 was the one that had the most terms in it? Okay. Okay, so of the level 2 terms, I would say that a lot of the problems that we do actually do kind of land in that level 2. Okay? Level 1 or level 2. What words did you highlight in level 3?
Forecast.
Yeah. Okay, forecast. I'm sorry? Defend. Oh, if then. Yeah, we had a lot of conditional statements this year. That happened a lot. Okay, what else? Evaluate. Okay, I want everybody to put a star by the word evaluate. Okay, because we're going to talk about that word. Okay, if you were to see, and I'm sure you did see this a lot last year in algebra, if you were to see a problem like evaluate the function f of x equals 2x squared plus 3 for x equals 3. What level of thinking do you think is required to answer that question?
2.
Okay, why 2, Chase?
Because it's not super hard, but it's not like, well, maybe 1.
Okay, so one or two. Chase thinks 1 or 2 because it's not that difficult. Okay, what else?
Depends on the person.
Okay, can you say that again?
It depends on the person.
It depends on the person. What do you mean by that?
A third grader can't solve that.
Okay. Yeah, they would need substantial help, right? Figuring out first of all what function notation is and how to use it, right? And then what to do with the information x equals 3. Okay? What is x in this equation? What is it?
3.
Okay, yeah, it's 3, but in any equation, generally speaking, what is an x value? Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry? Okay, it's a variable. Is it usually the input or the output? Input, okay? And then f of x would be our output, okay? So most of you, hopefully all of you, know that after a year in algebra, right? So you're right that, like a student who isn't familiar with function notation, this might not be a level 1 question, okay? Or a level 2 question. But for you, it is, despite the fact that we have this word evaluate, okay? Now I want you to avoid, though, talking about difficulty, because we're not talking about the difficulty of a problem. We're talking about what it's asking you to do. Is it asking you to gather information? Can you see what to do on the page? Can you point to what they're asking you to find? Okay? Or is it going to require some kind of processing? Are you going to have to do something in order to find the answer? Okay, then it's going to kind of move towards a level 2. A level 3 is where you're extending it beyond, right, your typical problem. It's where you are making predictions. Okay? We've done a lot of inductive reasoning in this class, right? Looking at patterns and extending them beyond. Okay? Anytime you're asked to forecast, as Sean said, or hypothesize, that is a level 3 question. Anytime you're creating something, okay, that's going to be a level 3 question. All right, so I'm going to give you a minute, okay, on your KWL chart. I want you to add to either your second or third column, knowing that you are going to use these skills to help develop questions for your review and summative assessment, okay, and knowing that we're going to be doing a little bit of evaluating and classifying of questions today. I want you to either add to your middle column, like what do you want to know, or add to your learned column. So take a minute and do that. It's just like word choice. So an hypothesis is generally used more in science. That's a really good question. I think it's just like the content area, but it's generally asking you to do the same thing. So you have to collect some information, you have to analyze your data, and then make a prediction based on your data. So. Okay, we're adding to this. So you're going to add a question or something that you've learned. So you can add specific terms, okay? Just be careful with that term evaluate, right? We want to make sure that we are being very careful with that word when it comes to math content questions. I see your question. Thank you. Is this a question? So is it used worldwide or? Yeah. I would say that complex level of thinking is used worldwide. I don't know if this model is. Okay. Riley, can I get you to move your backpack just so I can fit through here a little better? Because I have to kind of go through this way so the camera finds me. Can you move your backpack for me? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so as you're adding, here are some examples. So we have a general example, a level 1 question. Who won the most medals in 2008 Summer Olympics? How many of you know the answer to that question? Okay, so on a level like of difficulty from 1 to 5, okay? 1 being, gosh, I wonder. Okay, 5 being, I know the answer. Like, where are you in the level of difficulty with this problem?
1.
Okay, yeah, like I wonder. I have no idea. But how many of you could very easily take out your phone and Google the answer? Okay, so just because you don't know something doesn't mean it's a level 2 or a level 3 question. Okay, if the information can be easily gathered, right, by just looking it up, then that makes it a level 1 question. Does that make sense? Okay. So compare and contrast the Chinese gymnastics team statistics with the American team. Okay, so they're asking you to look at and compare, right, 2 sets of data. And then is the tie-breaking system for gymnastics fair? I don't even know what the tie-breaking system for gymnastics is. So first I would have to look that up, right, which is more of a level 1, but then look at it and analyzing it in comparison to like other sports, okay? So with English, okay, in the book The House on Mango Street, what type of neighborhood does Esperanza live in? Okay? So I'm sure that somewhere in the book, right, you could open to the page where that answer is and actually point to it. You could gather that information, it's on the page. Okay? Level 2, can you outline Esperanza's character traits and their difference to those of another character in the book? So again, you're comparing qualities and traits of two characters. And then a level 3, can you predict what will happen to Esperanza as she grows up? How will moving away from Mango Street change her perspective about life? So here, right, you're just taking what you know about the character, her interactions with other people, you're making a prediction about what things might be like in the future. Do we have any way of really knowing what that's going to be? No, but you could certainly support your prediction based on traits that you read in the text. Okay, so it's more of an open-ended question. That's a level 3. So here's some examples in math. Can you solve for x in the equation 2x plus 5 equals 10? Yes. Okay? It's a multiple step problem, right? It takes 2 steps to solve this equation. A third if you're going to check your answer. But that doesn't mean it's a level 2 or a level 3 problem. At this level, right, we can all easily do this. You understand the relationship between addition and subtraction, multiplication and division. Okay, level 2. Can you compare and contrast these problems? Negative 1/3 times negative 25x plus 10 equals 19, and 2/3 p minus 2 equals 10. So you would have to compare and contrast those problems. Perhaps they're asking you to compare the solutions. The question's not really clear, but anytime you're comparing two different things, that's going to be more of a level 2. How do you express 3y plus 4 equals 2x in standard form and graph the solutions? Okay, anytime you have to add a diagram and explain your answer or illustrate your answer, right, that's going to be a level 2. You want to design a rectangular dance floor 90 feet long and 75 feet wide. You need to make a drawing with a scale of 1 inch equaling 9 feet. Can you fit the drawing on a piece of paper 8.5 inches by 11 inches? Justify your answer. Okay, until we got to that last part, justify your answer, that was a level 2 question. Okay? Questions. How many of you, was it like helpful to see the examples side by side in different content areas? Okay, good. All right. So we're going to set this aside for a minute. Okay, and we're going to move back into our more math content area for today. Okay, so you are going to want to keep these handy, and we're going to make sure to hang on to them throughout the rest of this unit, but you can set them aside for now. Okay? Can I get a couple volunteers? We give 1 to each table. Okay, Brandon? Give 1 to each table. Okay, so Brandon and Riley are coming around, okay, and they're passing out 2 things. They're passing out these instructions, okay? There are 2 sets. One set's on the left, the other set's on the right, and they're passing out 4 nets, okay? I've glued these to construction paper to make it a little bit stronger, right? And there is tape and scissors in your basket. So what you and your table partner are going to do, one of you is going to do the left side of this. The other one is going to do the right. You are going to, Brandon, can you give 1 to each table? Not just each table group. Thank you. So one of you is going to create a cube and a pyramid, okay, and answer all of the questions. The other is going to create a cylinder and a cone and answer all of the questions. Once you have your nets made into solid shapes, okay, you'll find that on your table, there will be a container with some rice in it so that you can follow the directions when it gets to the part that says fill the cone with rice or oatmeal, pour the rice from the cone into the cylinder, okay? So these cups are to help you scoop because your solid probably won't be that strong. So you're going to carefully fill your pyramid or cone and then use that to fill your cube or cylinder. Are there any clarifying questions before we start? Yep, you're going to cut them out and tape them together into 3D solids. Other clarifying questions? Yeah, you don't need the numbers. That's fine. Okay. All right, I'm going to let you get started. you're going to want to know what they are. So if you want to record them on the inside so that you can see them, that would probably be helpful. Oops, sorry.
Is it me and her do this side and they do that side?
No, you're doing this one. She's doing that one. You're both doing it. Like, yeah, each table is making all 4 nets. Very carefully. So the dimensions of each net are listed on your instructions. So you can cut the numbers off. You don't need those. You have a reference of those in the instruction. Dominic, there's another pair of scissors in the basket, or there should be. Would you cut out the cylinder? Nope, and the cone, because Chase is going to work on the pyramid and the cube, okay? Yeah, and you can just pick which one you want to do since you're in a group on your own. You can cut the numbers off, it's fine. You're going to cut along the solid line.
Yeah, you probably.
Just cut it off, and then she can have the rest of it to cut what she has. There's another pair of scissors.
I'm trying to work. Can we cut the numbers off?
You can. You should, because you're going to need that dimension. It's been 2 minutes.
It feels like it's been 30.
There's also tape in each of your baskets to help you tape your solid together. Nice job, Jack. Okay, so you're going to cut these out while he's cutting his out. It is tricky. Yes.
Do you want it right side out or does it matter? Like which
It's a cone. No, it doesn't matter to me which side's out, but the seam, no, wait a minute. The seam is right here. So you need to put these sides together and tape along the seam. Like that. Nope. Like that. Okay, actually, can I see that so other people can see? Okay, I know you're working. Okay, but I need your attention. I know I have your attention when you're not talking and you're looking at me. Okay, so pause with the scissors for a second. Okay, if you are constructing a cone, okay, I especially need your attention. Okay, once you cut out this little semi-disc, okay, when you tape this together, you need to tape along the seam. Like, don't overlap the piece, okay, otherwise the cones won't be the correct dimensions. So you're going to put the seam together and tape right along the seam. Don't overlap the parts. Does that make sense? Cool. Carry on. So you have yours put together. You might want to make sure that you tape all the seams really well so the rice doesn't fall through. Can I see? Nice job. Do you already have your cube put together?
No.
Okay. That's the next part. All right.
Mine's looking pretty good. No.
Nice teamwork. Good job.
I was like, how did you? Yeah, I know. I probably should help her.
Good job. Have you finished making your solids? Okay. So did you read the directions?
And then you fill it with rice.
So first it wants to know, how do the areas of the bases of the cube and pyramid compare? So this is where you need to consider the dimensions
How do the areas
of the bases compare.
they're the same?
How do you know they're the same?
Because they match up.
Okay. So how do the height of the pyramid and the cube compare?
They're different.
Okay.
This one's
So show me where the
0.6.
height of the pyramid is.
The pyramid is right here.
Okay.
Like this.
Yeah, it's the perpendicular height.
They're the same.
Okay. All right. So now you know the questions to 1 and 2. And it says fill the pyramid with rice, then pour the rice from the pyramid into the cube. And you're going to keep track of how many of these it takes to fill this. Okay? Yes. Yeah. You do want to make sure that you tape all the seams, right, so that the rice doesn't fall through. And then you're going to answer questions 6 and 7 before you fill. Okay? Good job. So now we're going to answer questions 6 and 7. So how do the area of the base of the cylinder and the cone compare? So, okay, here, turn this over. How about put that on top of this to compare them? What do you notice?
Supposed to be the same. Is the base the same as the that?
They're the same. Okay. So how do the height of the cylinder and the cone compare?
Are they the same?
I don't know.
Supposed to be the same?
Maybe.
Can't ask her for the answer. Not the same.
So in this, right? This would be what of the cylinder? Is this the height or would it be the slant height? The 5, yeah, the radius. That would be the slant height. Okay.
To figure it out.
Well, I think comparing is probably the easiest way to go on that.
But they're not
Okay.
the same.
Okay, but are they close?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then you're going to go ahead and fill the cone with rice, right? And then pour that material into your cylinder, and you're going to keep track of how many times it takes to... How many times can you put the cone's volume into the cylinder? Okay.
I know what it was.
Is that like maximum capacity?
What's the tape at? Use the tape.
So, yeah, you want to make sure it's flat along the top. Maybe take a ruler or something and scrape the edge. Do you need a ruler? Straight edge? You got one? Perfect. Did you determine how many times it takes to fill the...
I don't know. I just
Oh shoot, we got chicken feet.
Okay, so the idea is you're keeping track of how many times you have to put the cone into the cylinder. Right, that's what you're doing for number 8.
What?
Yeah. So you would fill the cone, put it in the cylinder, Fill the cone.
You probably do like twice.
You think twice?
I'm gonna go with 2.5.
There's 2.
I am absolutely
Okay.
calming.
This is why we have the cups, right?
1. I am absolutely okay.
So how many did it take?
3.
It took 3.
And also gross.
Why is it gross? Hold it over the container, and then you'll make less of a mess. Here, I'll hold it for you.
Oh.
Okay, how about one more?
I just poured a whole
There you
thing
go.
out.
Perfect.
Oh, 3.
Yep, took 3. Good job.
You know what? I won't cook for you.
Okay, I just want to estimate where everyone's at. Okay? So, okay, just by show of hands, how many people are working on the pyramid? How many people are working on the pyramid? Okay, raise your hand if you are putting together the pyramid and the cube. There should be at least, right, 2 to 3 people at each table group. Okay, hands nice and high. Okay, keep your hand up, okay, if you have completed question number 3. Okay, so, all right, great, keep working. I want at least one person at each table group to have completed question number 3 and 8. So you guys can share across your table, okay, if some of you are taking longer than others to make this happen.
What?
Okay, Hunter, let's put the rice over here so it's not a temptation. There we go. Let's put it right over here. How are we doing? Good. Now you have a partner who can help you hold and tape.
Sorry.
Okay. Did you guys both finish?
Pyramid or the rice.
Have you
I did
done
number
3 and 8?
Yeah, I didn't raise my hand.
Okay, will you share your information with these guys, and then I'm just going to go ahead and take your rice.
Which take first?
You guys can recycle yours. Okay, have you guys finished 3 and 8?
I'm doing 3.
You're doing 3 right now? Okay. So I'll come back.
Oh my god.
Have you guys finished 3 and 8? Did you guys finish 3 and 8?
We only have to do those 2 questions?
No, I'm just trying to see how far you've gotten. Have you figured out how many times it takes to fill the cube and the cylinder with the cone and the pyramid? So number 3 is fill the pyramid with rice, then pour it into the cube to figure out how many times it takes to fill it. Did you do that?
No, not yet.
Okay, so it looks like you guys have yours put together. If you could do that and then share your information with the rest of your table, that would be awesome. Okay, so you need this. So you're going to dump the cube out. Dump the cube out. You need the pyramid.
There we go. Make sure this is full.
Okay, yep. And you're going to figure out how many times it takes to fill the cube with the pyramid. Okay. Has anyone at your table group finished 3 or 8? Did you guys finish 3 and 8? Okay, what about 8? Okay, but you have your shape? Okay, so we're going to collect that information and then share it with the rest of the group, okay? Thank you. Yep, that'd be good. Okay, have you guys figured out 3 and 8? Yes? Can I have your bucket of rice? You can just put your net in the bucket with the rice and the cup. Number 8 is fill the cone with rice.
Oh, I think
That one. Yes. Okay, guys, we're not throwing them. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, can I have yours? Beautiful. Thank you. And your cup, my dear. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, has at least one person at this group finished 3 and 8? Did you figure out how many times it takes to fill the cube with the pyramid? Chase? Did you figure out how many times it takes to fill the cube? Perfect. Okay, has anyone done 8 at this table group? Why don't you do it really quick, and then you're just going to share your information, okay? Oops, excuse me. Okay, can I have your bucket? Yep, just put everything in there. Just throw everything in there. Put it all in there. She took me really literally when I said throw. It's all right. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, I'm going to pull you back together in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, let's talk about what we found. Okay. As soon as I can get the camera to find me. Okay. Jack's just checking out his hair. I know. It's fine. Okay, here we go. So, question number 1. Question number 1. How do the areas of the base of the cube and the pyramid compare? Okay, they're the same, right? They're both 5 by 5, so they're both the same. Okay, how do the height of the cube and the height of the pyramid compare? They're also the same. Okay, how many times did it take when transferring the rice from the pyramid to the cube? How many times did it take to fill the cube? 3 times. Okay, so let's talk about 6, 7, and 8. Okay, similar information, but now we're talking about the cylinder and the cone. How do the areas of the base of the cylinder and the cone compare? What was that? They're the same. Okay? How do the height of the cylinder and the cone compare? They're the same. Okay, and how many times did it take to fill the cylinder using the cone? 3 times. Good job. Okay. So in your composition notebook, okay, I'd like you to answer 4 and 5. The volume of the pyramid is what fractional part of the volume of the cube? And what do you think is the formula for the volume of a pyramid? Explain. Okay, so if you had the pyramid and the cube, that's the one you're answering. Okay, if you had the cone and the cylinder, you are answering the question, what fractional part of the volume of the cylinder is the volume of the cone? What do you think is the formula for the volume of the cone? Explain. Okay, so take a minute. Okay, and let's formalize our thinking with this activity. So what did you guys figure out? If it takes 3 pyramids to fill the cube, okay, what's the formula for finding the volume of a cube? 1/3. Yep. So then what would be the formula for the volume of a pyramid? Divided by 2 or divided by 3. Good. Good job. Okay, did you guys come up with a formula?
No, not yet.
Okay, so what's the formula for the volume of a cylinder?
1/2 base times height.
For a cylinder?
For a cylinder, it's pi.
Pi r squared times height. Okay.
And then
So how would you find the volume of a cone?
divided, and then at the end divided by 3.
Good. Good job. Exactly.
That wasn't mine.
Nice job. Did you guys come up with your formula?
1/3 of the volume of the cylinder for me.
Okay. And how do you find the volume of a cylinder?
Well, you go
How do you find the area of this? Good.
squared height.
Good job. Nice. Okay. What'd you guys come up with for your formula? Okay, well, how do we find the volume of a cube? Mm-hmm. Gabe, how do we find the volume of a cube?
Isn't it the base times height?
Times. Good. So if it takes 3 pyramids to fill a cube, what would then be the formula for a pyramid?
It'd be like 3x.
Okay, you just said base times height times width, right? Or in the case of a cube, right, you take the area of the square and multiply by the height. So how would we then find the area of a pyramid if it takes 3 pyramids to fill a cube? Yes, 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 yes. Good, write that down. And then think about the cylinder in the same way. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. The volume of a pyramid is what fractional part of the volume of the cube? Brandon. 1/3. Okay. How do we find the volume of a cube? How do we find the volume of a cube? Yes, Riley? Okay. Area of the base times the height. Okay. So then how, yes, or length times width times height. So then how would we find the area of, or the volume, excuse me, of a pyramid? Yes, because a pyramid is 1/3 of a cube, we would divide it by 3 or multiply it by 1/3. Okay? So what fractional part of the volume of a cylinder is a cone? 1/3. Okay, how do we find the volume of a cylinder? What was that? Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Okay, so how do we find the volume of a cylinder? Yes, Liz. Good. And it's a circle, so if we're finding the area of the base, it would be pi r squared. Okay? And then how would we find the volume of a cone? We would divide by 3. Okay, nice job. All right, so remember the house, right? Costa's house. I want you to take that out, okay? And I want you to use that to classify, right, the different levels of questions in this activity, okay? So if you were doing the cube and the pyramid, okay, you are going to classify 1 through 5, anywhere there's a question. If you were doing the cylinder and the cone, then you're doing 6 through 10. Okay, so take a minute, do that on your own first, okay, and then compare how you classified it with your neighbor. So which questions are you classifying? Chase, are you with me this morning? You sure? Okay. Okay, have you guys classified your questions?
And they're the same.
You think they're all the same?
Well, like, no, ours
2, 2, 1, 1, 2.
are the same.
5 and 10 are like.
Because they ask the same thing just for a different shape.
Okay, so how would we tell the difference whether it's like a 3 or a 2? How would we know?
Well, actually, no, it would be a 3 because it's asking us to make a prediction.
Okay.
Well,
Conjecture.
I would say it's like it's the stairs and because this one's like
The stairs in between it.
this one's like
Because it kind of led us there, right? If it was just a straight question, like, can you use the formula of a cube
But then
to
again,
find the formula of a
you could find
pyramid?
the formula on the internet for the volume of pyramid.
Right.
easy access. I like
Yeah.
it.
So what? Would it be like a 2?
Depends.
2.
Okay, can you give me the number of fingers and the questions you have left to classify? Like, where are you at? Okay? So most of you are here. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. Make sure you're comparing with your neighbor and across your table to make sure people are getting the same answers. Okay, if you're done with the scissors and the tape, can you put them back in the basket? Thank you.
1, 1,
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so let's talk about question number 1 and 2 and 6 and 7. Okay? Where are we at with the classification? What do you think? Level 1, level 2, level 3? Show me with your fingers. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Where are you at? Okay? Okay, so I'm seeing some 1s, some 2s. Okay, how many of you, if you thought it was a 2, can I hear your justification for thinking it was a 2? Justice, what do you think?
Well, because it says how do the areas of the faces of the cylinder of the cone compare?
Okay.
And compare is
Okay. So because it has the word compare, we're classifying it as a 2. Okay. Who said that they were a 1? Okay, yes.
I thought it was a 1 because all you have to do is look at the height and the base. You just have to gather that information.
Okay. So looking at the directions, right? You could gather the information for the height of the cube and the height of the cylinder very easily. Okay, before we put the shapes together, if you had tried to find the height of the cone or the pyramid, what would you have had to do to find that? Okay. Are they giving us the height in the diagrams? No, they're giving us the slant heights, right? They're giving us the slant heights of the pyramid. They're giving us the slant height of the cone. They're not giving us the perpendicular height to the base. So, I would say you're both right, right? It's either a 1 or a 2, depending on how you gathered, like if you gathered the information just by looking, right? Like even though you're comparing, it would be a level 1 because you're just like, yep, they're the same height, right? Or you measured them. But if you calculated using Pythagorean theorem or any other methods that we've used for gathering this kind of information, then it would be a level 2. Okay? So you'd have to think about, oh, how could I use the Pythagorean theorem to help me find the height? All right. What about the questions in 3 and 8? How many pyramids full of rice does the cube hold? How many cones full of rice does the cylinder hold? Okay, show me with your fingers. 1, 2, or 3. Where are we at? Okay, let's see from everybody. What do you think? 1, 2, or 3? Okay. I'm seeing 2s and 3s. Okay? All right, so I'd like to hear some justifications for 2. Why do you think it's a 2? Sean? Okay, what kind of work? Okay. How many of you calculated? Okay. Maybe counted. You counted, right? How many times it's going to take. Okay. Milam. Sure. Bye. Chelsea, they need you in the office. Okay. Okay, if you look at level 1 on your page, what's the bolded word that we're using to describe level 1? Gather. Okay. What about level 2? Process. Okay, and level 3 is applying. Okay. So do you think that pouring rice from a cylinder or from a cone to a cylinder is a gather, a process, or an apply? Turn and tell your neighbor.
Process because you have to analyze it.
What are you analyzing?
The amount. Put it in. Yeah.
Okay.
My brain's melting.
All right. I heard all 3, right? I heard gathering, I heard processing, I heard applying. Okay? Where are we at now? Like, how many of you think it was a level 1? Okay? How many of you think it was a level 2? Okay? How many of you think it was a level 3? No, you're not the only one. We're just not raising them very high. Okay? All right. I think we need, we're going to finish this up and then we'll take a break, but I need you guys in this. Okay? So sit flat, lean in. Okay? I need responses to my questions. Okay? All right. Here we go. How many of you think it was a level 1? Raise your hand if you think it was a level 1. Okay. Thank you, Jack, for raising your hand. Okay. How many of you think it was a level 2? Okay. So I see the vast majority of the class thinks it's a level 2. How about a level 3? Okay? All right. So, maybe we need to define processing. What's the definition of the word process? Okay. Who's got their phone handy on your desk? Okay, Jack, turn on your phone. Google the definition of processing, please.
Perform a series of mechanical or chemical operations on something in order to change or preserve it.
Okay, one more time.
Perform a series of mechanical or chemical operations on something in order to change or preserve it.
Okay. Is there another definition? Okay. There's not a second definition for processing. Okay. Yes.
We had to perform a series of mechanical steps to...
Yeah, I think this is, I would agree with you, but I think this is more of a manufacturing definition of the word processing and not necessarily like an analytical processing. Okay. So here's a couple other definitions. Okay. So deal with using an official established procedure. I would say that that's definitely something that we were doing. So systematic series of actions directed to some end to devise a process for homogenizing milk. See, most of these are like manufacturing. Okay, so I did hear Hannah. I did hear an aha moment, right? As we were filling the cylinder from the cone and vice versa. Okay, I would say that that's definitely like a level 2. Like, yes, I'm going through this process. I'm filling, right? Oh, I'm seeing the connection between a cylinder and a cone. Okay, so if that was you, that's definitely a level 3. Okay, let's talk about let's skip on down to problem number 5. What do you think is the formula for the volume of a pyramid? Explain. Okay, level 1, 2, or 3, where are you at? Okay, I'm seeing a lot more 3s this time. So why do we think it's a level 3 and not a level 2? How is this one different? Yes, Chelsea. Yes, absolutely. You're making a prediction, right? A guess on what the formula is, and you're backing it up with evidence from your little data experiment. Okay, so we are going to take a quick break. Okay, so I need everybody to stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Okay. Hands over your head. Okay, link your fingers together. I'm not sure if it's paused or not. Is it? I tried, but it's not. Is it pausing? Okay. All right. Turn your palms towards the ceiling. Stretch up on your toes, up on your toes, up on your toes. Okay, back down. Okay, now you're going to lean to the left. Okay, and lean to the right. Okay, I want you to continue to stand, but you can have a talking break for 2 minutes. Take 2 minutes. Continue to stand, Dylan. I need you to stand. Okay?
It's still recording, but it's just not gonna like track you.
It's fine.
I thought it would pause. I'm just taking like one part. Yeah, I never trust that there's that many. Like multiple choice tests, if it's like 3 states in a row, it's just.
Yeah. Yep. You just need to bring me your planner so we can get it signed, and you can come in during any time. Yeah, this week. Yeah, all week. You decide. You let me know, like, what we need to do. Do you need to come in and practice first and then schedule time to reassess? That's up to you. Right. But you've been working on it, so if you want to take this week, that's fine. But, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Boy. Okay, so I need you back in your seats. Then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 'Awesome. Okay, on your table, okay, you're going to find this handout. There are 7 questions, okay, of varying levels, okay? These are some examples of questions you might see on a review or your summative test, okay? The first thing I want you to do with your table group, okay, is just classify the level of thinking. So as you're doing this, what I'd like you to do is highlight or circle any words in the question that led you to the conclusion of this is a level 1, a level 2, or a 3, okay? So you're going to highlight words in the problem, okay, that are asking you to, or helping you determine what type of problem this is, okay? Then you're going to classify over here. You're either going to write a level 1, level 2, or a level 3, okay? Okay, and let's take about 5 minutes to do that. Take about 5 minutes. You just have to give me your planner so I can sign it. Of course you can come in. Yeah.
Okay, and when, like, so I'm just gonna take it in parts. So I'm just gonna take the first part today.
Okay, I have people coming into work today, or to practice. So if you're going to take it, it's probably better that I give it to you in your advisory. So who's your advisor?
So like I don't Miss Hopkins.
Okay.
And I want to come in and practice.
Okay. So
My journal or something.
who's your advisor? Okay. Yeah, in your notebook is fine.
That one formula that we were given on the test.
I really want you to work on this. Okay, we'll have time to talk about this, but for now I want you to work on this. Okay. No, not yet. You're just classifying.
Honestly, I think
Okay, I'm going to be choosing people at random to share, so make sure you're having a good conversation with your table group. Okay?
you're already given the set height. So you just need to plug numbers into an equation. But then you need to round it.
But are you using the slant height or the perpendicular height in order to find the volume? Not to find the volume. You don't use the slant height to find the volume. You use the perpendicular height. So why did we choose this one as a category 1? Yeah.
Because it gives you the height.
Does it give you the height or does it give you the slant height?
Or gives you the slant height.
It gives you the slant height.
It
Do you need
gives
to
you
use
the
the slant height to find the volume or do you use the perpendicular height to the base?
Use the perpendicular.
Yeah. So is it going to require some processing before you can plug the information in to find the answer? Like how would you go about finding the height?
I mean, based off of what we've learned.
Yeah, but we had like a physical, like we could compare the two. On your test, it's going to be more like this, where you have...
So it would be more of a level 2 because you actually have to do some work.
Yeah, you have to like think about how could I find this information in order to then find the volume. Okay, can we talk about how you guys have classified these? Okay, so in number 1, I see you highlighted the word find. It is. But do we have all the information we need in order to find the volume?
Yes. No.
Okay, so what piece is missing?
The height.
The height.
Yeah.
And how would we go about finding that?
So this would be a lower 2 then.
Yeah, it would be. Nice.
What do you mean? You said for the first 5 minutes, dude, we're supposed to solve slant?
Not yet.
Can
Just
we?
having conversation. Yeah, you can totally start that. But I have some questions. Do you have all the information you need to find the volume?
Yes. Wait.
I see Chelsea shaking her head now.
Because you need to find the height.
Okay, so would that change the level of...
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good job. Okay, so you... I see that you've got this one classified as a 3. I had a lot of other people that had it classified as a 1, like your table partner here. Why did you choose to classify it as a 3? Because you don't have all the information? Okay. So, what piece are you missing? The height? And do you know how to find the height of the pyramid?
You don't need the height for that one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Finding the volume of a pyramid?
Oh, wait.
You needed the height to find the volume of the cube, and then the volume of the pyramid was 1/3 of that. So you do need the height. And all we have is the slant height. We don't have the perpendicular height. So Yeah, so you have to make sure that you have all the information you need before you classify it as a 1, right? Because there's some other part of the problem that you need in order to find the answer, then that would make it a 2 or a 3, right? Because we're going to require some other form of processing, figuring out what do I need to use in order to find the height. Okay, is it asking you to make a prediction or a generalization or any kind of speculation going forward? It's just asking for an answer for this specific pyramid that they're giving you a diagram for. So I would say in order for it to be a 3, you'd have to make some sort of prediction about like other pyramids, right? Based on generalizing information from this one. So I would say it's not a 1 as Gabe originally had, and it's not a 3 because we don't have all the information. So it's probably closer to a 2. Yeah. Okay.
We actually do have all the information, right?
It is a square pyramid, but you don't know the height of the pyramid. You know the length and width of the base, but you don't know the height. You don't know the height of the pyramid. Okay. That was a really good question, though. Okay, so we're at our 5-minute mark. Okay. I've pulled out my numbered roster. Okay, we're gonna draw. Okay, so if you get the dreaded sticks. Okay, so if you get stuck, okay, I'll give you a minute to confer with put your heads together with your table group, and I'll just come back to you. So it's okay. If you can't answer the question right away, we'll circle back around, okay? So first one's an easy one. I just want to know how your group classified the first question and why, okay? So let's see, absent. Okay, Liz.
My group was a level 2 question.
Okay.
Because to find the volume, you have to find the height because you don't know the height.
All right. Is there anyone that disagrees with Liz? Has a different perspective? Yes, Dylan. You said a level 1? Okay. Okay. Liz, what was your justification for it being a level 2 and not a level 1? Based.
You have to find the height because you don't know it. So you have to go through the process of finding it before you can find the volume.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't it say level 1 up there though?
What's that? Where? No, I didn't have it written up there yet. Okay. So, how many of you agree with Liz that it's a level 2 because we don't have all the information? Okay. All right. Initially, when I walked around, most of you would have agreed with Dylan, right? You saw that word find, right, in the question, and you're like, oh, find, identify, those are synonyms, it must be a level 1. But we have to look closer at the question to determine if we have everything we need in order to find the volume, and in this case, we didn't. We need the perpendicular height of the pyramid in order to find the volume. Okay, let's talk about question number 2. Okay, it's a cone with radius 1, fits snugly inside a square pyramid, which fits snugly inside a cube. What are the volume of the 3 figures? How can you draw a diagram of the situation? And what dimensions do the cone, pyramid, and cube have in common? So 27 is Sierra. What do you think, Sierra? You think it's a level 3? And what's your justification for that? Okay. So you're applying everything you know about all of the shapes? Are you making a generalization then about what you know about the shapes and how to answer the question? Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of implied. Okay. Were there some people that disagreed though? What's that? Oh, yes, Brandon, please feel free to add on.
It's not like on the paper, you actually have to think about it, and it's like you said off the page, you have to use prior knowledge and also you have to.
Yeah, you do. You have to imagine the shape. I can't imagine that it would be very easy to draw that unless you're a really good artist. So you have to picture the shape in your head. think it's another great justification for it being a level 3. Was there anyone else that had something to add? Okay, let's talk about question number 3. So find the volume of each cone in terms of pi and also rounded as indicated. Okay, so Anthony, what'd you get?
I said level 2 because you have to find the area of the base before you can plug it in.
Okay, so Anthony says it's level 2 because you have to find the area of the base before you can find the volume. Okay, is there anyone that would like to add on to what Anthony said or would like to respectfully disagree? Okay. How do we find the volume of or the area of a circle? Okay. How many of you could figure that out without having to look? Like, okay, absolutely. Okay. So you're definitely using that prior knowledge and combining it with the information from the table. So, yeah, it's probably a level 2. Okay, let's talk about the next question. The Transamerica Pyramid building in San Francisco is 853 feet tall with a square base that is 149 feet on each side. To the nearest 1,000 cubic feet, what is the volume of the Transamerica Pyramid? Okay. Olivia, what'd you get?
We said it was a level 1 because you already have all the information. You just need to plug it into the formula.
Okay. So in the previous problem, we also said that it was a level 2. Anthony said that the previous problem was a level 2. Was there any information we were missing in the previous problem?
Yeah, you had to find the base.
Okay.
Previous problem.
So do we have to find the area of the base in this problem?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you can make an argument in both cases that this is either a 1 or a 2. Right? You have to, if you have access to the formula, then you're just plugging numbers in. But if you're having to recall the formula and add what you know from the diagram, then it's more of a level 2. So I would think that it could be one or the other.
It says the base is 149 feet.
Oh, it does give you, it's just giving you the dimensions of the base. It's not giving you the area. Yeah, so that one takes a careful read. Anyone else have something to add? Okay, so let's talk about the next one. The two cylinders pictured at the right are congruent. How does the volume of a larger cone compare to the volume of the two smaller cones? Explain. Okay, so let's talk to Allie. What do you think? Okay, so what language in the question leads you to believe it's a 2?
Because you have to explain and compare the total volumes, and then you have to justify and explain the reasoning.
Okay. So anyone else that would like to add onto that or have a different answer? Yeah, Dylan.
Well, I could explain why it might be a 2.
Okay.
Because it has the word explain in there.
Okay.
And that's a level 2 word.
That is a level 2 word.
But you also have to find the volume of the cones and then compare them and then explain them.
Okay. So what about the word compare? Is compare a level 2 or a level 3 word?
2.
Level 2. So I would say that this is closer to a level 2 than a level 3. If they asked you to then generalize like outside this problem, right, to another problem, Sean, was that what you were going to share? No? Then I would say that would what would make it a level 3, right? Because then it's off the page. It's applying it to something different. Okay, so find the volume of each square pyramid, round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So, Sean, what do you think?
I'll say a level 1.
Okay. Why did you choose it for it to be a level 1?
Because they gave all the information.
Okay. Because all the information is given. Okay, anyone else have anything to add? Okay, let's talk about the last one. Suppose the height of the pyramid is cut in half. How does this affect its volume? Explain. Okay? We don't have a 36 anymore. 22. Taylor, what'd you guys come up with? Said it was a 2? Okay. What language in that question led you to believe it was a 2? Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Agree? Disagree? Have something to add? Yes.
I was thinking it's kind of free because if it's supposed.
Okay. So yeah, this is not speaking of a specific pyramid, right? We're generalizing to all pyramids, right? If you cut their height in half, how does that affect their volume? So I think if you're generalizing to all pyramids, then it's definitely closer to a 3. But if you're speaking about a specific pyramid, then it would be a 2. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So we're generalizing to all pyramids here. So I think this is probably the closest of any to a level 3 question. Okay, are there any questions about these questions? No? Okay. So here's what I'd like you to do. Okay? I want you to get out your KWL charts again. Okay? Take a couple minutes and finalize what you've learned and questions you have. I say finalized in very generic terms because we are going to continue to add to these after today. Okay? And then if you have your homework for 11.4, I'm going to come around with a little answer key. You're going to put your name on the back, check your answers, and list questions that you had about the homework. I'm also going to bring around some Post-it notes, and I'd like you to use one of these sentence stems to describe your level of understanding with today's learning target. So I will classify levels of questions while determining how the volumes of cubes, pyramids, cylinders, and cones are related. So you are either going to be a green, which is like, I am very comfortable with what we talked about today. I have a strong understanding of the content. So you're going to start a sentence with, today I learned, and you're going to be specific about what you learned. Or, I like the way you had us, right? Be specific about an activity that we did today. Or you're a yellow, okay? You have a question about something that we did or you need more practice with. And then please be specific. Or you're a red. I didn't know what you mean when you said, right, and this stopped my learning. Or there was some other distractor, either with an activity or the group, right, that caused my learning to stop, and you're going to talk to me about that. Okay? So again, if you have your homework out, keep it out. I'm going to come around with the answer key and Post-it notes, and you're filling in your KWL chart right now. If I can find them, I had them. Here they are. Okay, homework?
Yes.
Olivia, I need you to fill in your KWL chart, okay? Okay, so you're going to check your answers, put your name on the back. You're turning this in to me. Do you have your homework? Good job. Check your answers, list questions. Okay, you're going to give me, you're going to write your name on the back, okay? And let me know what questions you have about these problems. Okay, do you guys have your homework? Homework? Okay, you're going to check your answers, put your name on the back. This is what you're turning in to me. Here you go. There you go.
Well, I didn't send this in to you, but this
Okay,
is
is this
from
today's?
the 24th. No.
Do you have today's?
No.
Okay, I'll take this.
I
Do you have today's? Okay, so you're going to check your work, right? Put your name and any questions you have on the back. Okay, do you have yours? There's your exit ticket, guys. Okay, here's your Post-it notes for your exit ticket. Homework? Okay, so you're going to put your name on the back. You're turning this in to me, okay, with any questions that you had. Here's your Post-it notes for your exit ticket.
Okay.
Homework?
Yeah.
Somewhere? Okay, your homework. So put your name on the back, list any questions you have. Name on the back, list any questions that you have. Okay. Here's your post-it notes for your exit ticket. Okay. Okay, put your name on the back, list any questions that you have. Nope, you're going to hang on to it. Okay. Homework?
Yeah.
Questions that you have? So you're going to put your name on the back, list any questions you have on the homework. Okay, and this is what you're turning in to me. Homework? Do you have yours? Don't have it? Okay. Homework? So you're going to check your answers. Put your name on the back of that sheet. You're going to list any questions that you have. Okay? So put your name on the back of this. You're turning this in to me on your way out. Okay? And here's your exit ticket. Post-it note. Okay, so everybody gets a post-it note for their exit ticket. What's that? No. Okay, so your post-it notes are going to go on the stoplight on your way out. If you got an answer key, okay, you're putting your name on the back, listing any questions you had in your homework. You're giving that to me. Okay? So you're handing this to me on your way out. You're putting your post-it note on the stoplight. Okay? You don't have to.